Hello there and welcome to a impromptu video which was triggered by an individual who sent me a message via Twitter. They want to remain anonymous, so they will be remaining anonymous, but they did give me permission to read out the message that's up on screen in front of you. So let's just crack on with it, shall we? It's a bit of a serious one. So, mate, I'm sat on a beach, sinking a beer, listening to your latest 3-hour YouTube video, which happened last night. I just want to thank Matty and Ricky. I did want to do the joke last night from the office. Ricky, leave it! Office. What's his name and what's his girlfriend name in EastEnders? Bianca. Leave it, Ricky! But in all seriousness, we had a wonderful discussion. Well, Matty and Ricky did. I just sat here looking at Brew's video of Tottenham rioters. But it was a brilliant stream last night. Really enjoyed it. I've listened back to it while I was doing the old e-learning for the NHS. And I was listening into it and I was just thinking, this is just a brilliant conversation. And Matty did message me and just to say, look, thanks for having me on the show. And I just simply responded with, no, thank you. At the end of the day, if it wasn't for people like Matty or Ricky or Animations or whoever that decides to come onto the Discord, this show's nothing. Yeah, all right, I can speak absolute garbage for upwards of an hour, by which point I'm slowly starting to wane, and I'm thinking, please, for the love of God, can someone just call in? I've advertised it 50 times, not literally, but I've advertised it enough, and there's no one in the waiting room still. Please, just come on, just to chat some absolute nonsense about whatever. Thankfully, Matty came on, and he wanted to really digress into his opinions regarding Harry Kane, Onana, Jesus, and so on and so forth. And it was a genuinely really, really interesting chat. And from an individual who we discovered last night, who is very, very good at playing fantasy football sports. Whether it's this, whether it's Champions League, whether it's Sky FF, it doesn't matter. This is clearly an individual that knows his football, enjoys talking about football, and wants to participate in the Elite FPL community this season, where, of course, it is going to be a big one this year. But so this individual messaged me, and as you've probably all read it by now, said this. So I'm sat on a beach listening to Furiously, please never change. There is a minority of us who love to listen to a normal bloke talk shit, have a laugh, do his own thing, and maybe talk about football for a bit. Now, I've made this point 50,000 times. When I watch any content creator, do I want them to talk about the specific subject matter that the video or the podcast is entitled about? Yeah. But when you consume a lot of content of a similar nature, i.e., in this case, fantasy football, as I keep banging on about, after a while, hearing the same thing of, shall I go Onana and Gabriel or Shaw and Ramsdale, gets pretty fucking boring. Like I said, I'm happily here to say it. When I listen into Andy or Harry or Raptor or Focal, whoever, and they're doing these streams, they have to stick to a format. I get it. It's what they're about. This is their format. They've chosen a path, and it's their choice to go down a route of giving advice in a game that we all love. That's their path. Is it for me? I've said it 1,000 times. Not really. The reason why I choose to watch live streams, though, because it's live. Keyword being live. And by God, do you come up with some golden moments? Can't edit it out. Guarantee you now, if those things happened on a normal everyday video, individuals can just edit these silly moments out, but it won't happen because they're just doing a video like I'm doing now, so they've got no distractions. Live stream, however, you've got all the distractions in the world. Anything can happen live. But the problem that I have with the Q&A style streams, even like Gianni Battiste, another example, I have got nothing against these people. And in fact, I actually really like them as people. And as I've stated 1,000 times, I want them to show their personality more. I want them to talk about their days and what they've been getting up to and what their relationship status is and what they've been doing in the gym or what they've done out and about shopping or whatever. Tell anecdotes. That's what makes it interesting. This is why when you do watch live streams and someone asks a question like, what's your favourite biscuits? Or there was a moment last season with Harry. He literally just sat there. I did this for a members video, by the way. I've already done this. Just sat there eating biscuits. There were 3,000 people watching him. Or listening, whatever, same difference. Just listening to a bloke while he's eating biscuits. Didn't say a bloody thing. But the problem for these guys is that they can't really, during their streams, go off subject matter because, unfortunately, like I said, for them, they've created a model which is all about advice and tips, and there's nothing wrong with that. I must state that there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not for me. It's not my cup of tea. Now, I can reverse that by saying, yeah, but we're not interested in you speaking about the NWO or Tesco or the NHS or fitness or whatever. I don't give a shit about that. That's why I skip all your videos. That's why I just skip to the point where you're talking fantasy football. Fine. That's great. But what I ask in return is, can you just not write it on a comment in the YouTube thing? On the YouTube comment section, just write a comment about your favourite moment. Because guess what? That helps for research purposes. I'm not going to name them, but an individual actually said, I actually really enjoy listening to your thought processes regarding why you're going for X player. I think they said words to the effect of, I can genuinely listen to you speak for hours about your decision making as to why you think Harry Kane is a better option than Haaland, and then you go through all the fixtures, you look at all the scores and the data that's literally there where Kane scored here and Haaland blanked and Haaland's the better player at home and Kane's the better player away, and making those simple decisions, and then you come to a conclusion where you go, I'm going to go with Harry Kane instead of Haaland. As a simple example. And they openly said, I don't particularly like hearing you talking about Tesco's and all this other stuff. And it's why, for me, I'm trying my hardest to take all that aside. And that's why the Total Stevo podcast exists. Because I can just focus doing FPL stuff within reason on here, for obvious reasons, and then the Total Stevo stuff is about me venting about issues regarding real life. And if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. I don't care if you listen to it or not. No one listens to it anyway. So, but the point being, though, is that when you are doing live streams, not videos, this is a video, but when you're doing live streams, I've said 1,000 times, they're very, very difficult. When you've got nothing to talk about. And they get pretty boring when it's just the same, like I said, for me, when it's the same thing over and over in the chat, which is, like I saw last night, some prat just constantly going on about the YouTube chat league, and I'm thinking, you're not going to be invited. Stop asking. It's a waste of fucking time. You ain't going to get in. I don't even know who you are. And I've had that on several occasions since announcing the YouTube chat league. I've had quite a few people coming to me and saying, I want to be invited to the YouTube chat league. You are? Who are you? And it ain't happening. But But when someone comes up with a topic of conversation that's of interest, because I've spent the last 20 minutes, again, discussing the reasoning as to why Luton are a team to avoid, or whatever, why Burnley should be the team to be looking at from the promoted teams because of X, Y and Z, why Sheffield United actually at home, from a defensive perspective, are really, really good, so I would recommend going with the one Sheffield United defender and always play him in a home game. You know, after you've spoken for about half an hour on that, it's like, look, I just want a fucking break. A bit like me now with the e-learning stuff. It's just, I need a break. I don't want to be knowing about the government guidelines from 1993, the Data Protection Act from 1982. When you're cleaning up, what equipment should you be using? I'm sick to fucking death of it. I've been doing it for the last 3 hours. Just stop. So you need a break. And that's what I'm doing this for. It's for a break. And yeah, in the live stream aspect, take yesterday as an example. The thing is that you take live streams from not just fantasy football, but we're talking computer gaming. When in computer gaming, admittedly, you're watching someone on a big screen or whatever, however you consume it. I'd like to think on a TV, not just staring at a phone, or actually just use the phone like that, but preferably on a TV. Now, obviously, if you're at work or whatever and you're consuming YouTube or whatever, I'd like to think you do what I do, which is you just put your phone about a foot away, maybe a foot and a half away from you, and just view at pleasure in the distance, not again just doing this, which I know hundreds of people do, but just awful behaviour. Look at yourself. Anyway, but with live streamers that do gaming, you know, yeah, you're watching them play the game, but actually the ones that I've personally enjoyed are the ones that are the independent ones where they just talk about their everyday lives. Because yeah, I get to see them playing the football. I get to see them quite literally playing the game of Call of Duty, well, in this case, Warzone. I mean, I don't profess to watch any of it nowadays, to be honest with you. I very, very, very rarely watch Warzone streamers. Well, two of them anyway. Ironically, one of them Elite Shot. I unsubscribed to him because I'm just not interested. But SoCal is the equivalent of Elite FPL. He's a bloke that is incredible at the game, at Warzone. He is fantastic. How he doesn't have, and this is the line that me and Jason get a lot, I don't understand how you don't have more subscribers and viewers watching your stuff. Well, as Karma Baby made a point last night, because we're shadow banned. In fact, I can't remember the exact wording he used, but we've been, was it hard shadow banned, Karma Baby, you said? So we've been hard shadow banned. In fact, another member of the community, Alex Volo, or a member of the team, Alex Volo, he doesn't get notifications when we go live. So that's 2 people. Now, I'm sure there'll be many people watching this going, I get notifications. Yeah, I do as well on my phone. So unless Karma Baby and Alex Volo haven't hit a notification, I don't know. Point being, though, is that they haven't got a notification. But I'm the same as SoCal. I don't understand how someone that's so good at this game has only got 400 people watching him. He should be having 4,000. But the reasoning is this. Because unlike the really popular streamers that do Warzone, he's like Elite FPL. He's very good at the game. Well, me and Jason are shit at the game, but point being is that he's very good at the game, but he's not talking tactics, what you should be doing. What he's talking about is getting the family involved, i.e. the SoCal family, talks to them like me and Jason do, and engages. He's fucking brilliant. Like, whenever I do tune in to watch him, I'm always entertained. I find it fascinating the tactical way he plays the game, and he wins lots of matches, and then after the match ends, he goes through the chat and everything, reads the comments and stuff. People love it. People genuinely really, really enjoy it for what it is. But unfortunately, for the majority of people that consume content, anything, all they want is that quick endorphin hit of, what's he done? Like, people are going to be pissed off already that I've just put this picture up. Because people are going to tune in and they're going to be like, where's the team? I need to fucking look at his team to see what he's done. Just go away. You're not part of the Elite FPL community. I'm not trying to ostracize you here and, tell you to clear off because you're only here to look at a team. But the reality of the situation is that most people just come along, click to see what the team is, and they're gone again. What's he done? All right, okay, let's go. They're not interested in what I've got to say, whereas the hardcore audience, as we keep banging on about, are interested. And it goes back to this individual's point of view, which is you're just a normal bloke talking shit. But I'd like to think that people are entertained enough where they can relate with it. That's the whole point in it. You're relating with the individual on screen and going, I fucking hate working for Sainsbury's. And he's fucking right. I can't stand my office job. Staring at a computer for 6 hours. I get headaches every day. I feel like shit. What am I doing this for? I spend half my time bored out of my fucking mind because my brain isn't stimulated enough. And that has a knock-on effect with other things, and it just goes on and on and on and on. And I like to think people relate with that and go, yeah, he's like that. I have worked in these shitty jobs and I find it really funny listening to what he's having to say. And we go back to this individual here, that if you do decide to talk about football, that's a bonus. So, continuing on, I'm a 47-year-old and I don't give a shit about AI, models, points projections, or paying money on what is a very simple game that kids play, and that's the truth. This game is for children, FPL. I genuinely don't know what the average age is. I really don't know what the average age is that play FPL. But the thing is, when it comes to FPL/YouTube content, it's aimed at children. Hence why, and again, no disrespect, but the very, very top end market guys that I've already named appeal to children. I would say the average age of the majority of those guys' streams is probably about 20, 21. I mean, half of them are 20, 21 anyway. But that's what appeals to them. It's for children. I mean, I'm not going to name them, but one of them, who I haven't mentioned, but one of them, I can tell that it's just kids that watch his stuff. This guy's in his mid to late 20s. And it's apparent to me whenever I've watched a stream, it's just children watching it. Because it's very, very easy to follow. And I'm not being horrible to this individual. I mean, I haven't even named them, but it's aimed at kids. Whereas for the adults, hence why the likes of FPL Juice is so good, is because it's aimed at adults. Same as the casuals. Same as Planet FPL. It's aimed at adults. I've said it before. I've said it 1,000 times. Why do I like it? Why do I like Planet FPL? Because it's just two normal fucking blokes chatting about football and their experiences. I said it on a members video last season when Suj was talking about West Ham, and I think he spent like 10 minutes talking about how he was getting to West Ham and stuff, and his experience taking his children there. I found it really interesting because you're invested in the person. I'm invested in Suj. I'm invested in James. I want to hear what they're talking about. The bonus is that, then they start talking about the West Ham game or the Tottenham game or the Arsenal game or the Man City game. That's the bonus. But I'm actually more interested in hearing how James didn't watch the match. He went out with his wife and his son to wherever it is, and then he caught a few highlights later on in the evening, and he made a judgment call on what he wants to do. And then he would tell us about the fact that he went on the Slack channel and did this, and this. It's just interesting because you relate with that individual. A 20-year-old kid isn't going to enjoy that. Because their brains haven't developed enough to understand any of this. All their understanding is who do I buy? Just tell me who to buy and I'll do it. I'll just do any. So that, in fact, here's a Peep Show reference for you. Any Peep Show fans, comment below. Fuck it. It's like, have I forgotten his name? The one that's obsessed with Jeremy. Go on, who will you suck off? I bet it would be you, wouldn't it? Alright, I forgot to do anybody. Barney, his name is. Alright, if anybody, it'd be Super Hands. Fuck off! Told you. It's like Barney. Please tell me what to do. Please, I'll do anything. Look at me, I'm Jeremy. Yeah. I'm Jeremy, I'm wearing his trousers. And he's there like... and he's just there, smugly. Fuck it out. That's the individuals that watch the large channels. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I say, I'm fully aware that there's a lot of people that cannot stand Elite FPL for one reason only. What I'm doing right now. I've been talking for 20 minutes. No one is going to enjoy it apart from the individuals like this, who just want to hear a bloke take absolute fucking nonsense and shite about whatever. This isn't appealing to kids. This isn't for children. This is for adults. And for people that are invested in myself and Jason, or in this specific case, me. So yeah, this individual saying about AI models playing for kids, etc. I do listen to Planet FPL, as James does seem to be a nice bloke. But the rest of the... I love this line. The rest of the vomit content creators bore the ass off me. I do have one thing that really boils my blood, and that's the promotion of gambling sites. How the people at Scout and other places can live with that is beyond me. It destroys lives and leads to suicide. Fuck those greedy cunts. Keep on doing what you're doing, brother, and I'll be listening when I can. Now, I know this is a subject matter which I'm not going to profess to be an individual that's an expert in the sense of when it comes to people's issues, when it comes to addictions and stuff. Have I spoken about addictions on the Total Steeler podcast? Yes. But I can only go off my own personal addictive behaviours when it comes to, just for comedic value, but it's true, like sugar, specifically sweets. So, for instance, the other day, I went to Marks and Spencer's, I wasted 10 quid to go to Canary Wharf to literally go, oh, it's pouring down with rain. I'll just go Marks and Spencer's, and I saw that there were Percy Pigs reduced, and I thought, fuck it, and I bought 4 packs. I bought 4 packs, which came to the same price as 1 pack, because they were down to like 70p each. And I think a normal packet of Percy Pigs is like £2.50. Anyway, the point being is that I'm addicted to sweets, hence why my teeth are fucked, and I hate them. But I can't afford X amount of thousands upon thousands of pounds, even if it means getting on a plane and going to Turkey. I can't afford it. And it's one of the few things, if I ever win the lottery, which would help if I actually played the lottery, it's the one thing I'd get fixed straight away, my fucking teeth, specifically just the front 5 teeth. I don't care about the rest. The front 5 teeth, just fucking rip them out and stick in some implants. Can't afford it. In this country alone, I've been personally told that would cost me about £30,000-40,000. 30 or 40,000 fucking quid to extract 5 teeth and implant 5 others. Like, the point being, though, is that because of my addiction to sweets, so my teeth are fucked. And there are obviously other addictive behaviours which I've had in the past, which have caused ill health. So overtraining in the gym, for example, when I was going through a stage in this specific house where I basically couldn't deal with being in the house at the same time as certain other individuals, just went to the gym and I was training 2 times a day, 3 times a day. It's not good for you. Overtraining is really, really bad. I mean, I'm experiencing it personally now with the bodybuilding training, where pretty much you're having to train 5 to 6 days a week. And I hate it. Because, yeah, all you're doing is lightweight, high sets, high reps. But because I'm overtraining, my body's hating it. So I'm aching a lot. I'm getting headaches. They're all signs of overtraining. Fatigue. But today I'm having the day off. I mean, even yesterday I didn't really do any weights apart from the tricep extensions. And for anybody that listens to Total Stevo, you'll understand that reference, the tricep extension machine. But when it comes to serious issues like gambling and alcoholism, or in this specific case, gambling, the horrible reality of the situation is that these gambling sites will latch on to anybody that's willing to promote their stuff. I'm not justifying that, but let's just put it this way. Me and Jason have received contact from, shall we say, who others are happily advertising. We don't even read the messages, or more specifically, we read the messages, we don't reply. We'll have X promotion come along and say, "We love your stuff, it's amazing. Do you want to be in partnership?" No. Because you're using all these terminologies to make us think like others do, which is, ooh, this gambling site has come along and they want me to advertise, and it means that my audience gets 15% off. Shit. What do I get from them? Sorry, 50 quid at the end of the month if I sign up 100 people. But I've got to make sure that I'm promoting your game or league or whatever it is every single stream. And I get 50 quid if 100 people sign up. I don't even have 100 subscribers. Yeah, exactly. Oh, but I'll sell my soul. Right, okay. And then what if something happens there where an individual decides, I'm going to take up Johnny FPL 15, and then gets unfortunately sucked into this world of gambling because of the site that they're promoting. I mean, Talk Sport are a prime example of a station and ITV are an example of a TV channel who are just inundating us with gambling. And fuck me, it can be tempting when you got Ray Winstone coming on. Right then. Look at these odds on the screen. It's a terrible impression. Look at these odds on the screen. Why not have a flutter? Remember, kids, gamble responsibly. So, there it is on screen. Man City to win 2-1 against Inter Milan, 10-1. Get on it now. Because they're giving you the enhanced odds and everything. You know, like you get Paddy Power, isn't it? Who'll say, enhanced odds, we've we've upgraded the 2-1 of Salah to score and Liverpool to win. It's now 5-1. Get on it now. People who are addicted will be like, fuck, get on it now. Bit like me. Percy Pigs down to 79p. Fuck, come here, need it. It's terrible. And I keep saying this, the difference with gambling though is that it does, as this individual here, it legitimately can affect people in a way in which it affects others. So for instance, you know, they're betting the mortgages of their houses. They're literally stealing money to feed this gambling habit. The only money they've got for the week is for food, but the individual decides it's only 100 quid. That horse that horse is a shoo-in. I'm going to put that 100 quid on. And then that means I'll be able to double my money. It doesn't come through. We were told the other day, a few months back, when I went to my local William Hill, I went there, and the window was broken. Well, the door window was broken. And we discovered, I asked, what the hell's going on here? Well, what happened? Oh, it happened last night. Yeah, why? What happened? Oh, a bloke lost 500 quid. And he just decided to boot the door, and he smashed it. 500 quid. My mate Steve, because it's very, very rare he'll come with me, but occasionally he'll say, oh, can I come out for a walk with you? And I'll be like, well, I'm going to the bookies first. If you're happy to come in, come in. And I reiterate this point, bookies are some of the most horrible places to go in. I can't stand it. I don't like the people that go in there, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's beside the point. And Steve was just observing an individual who has no interest in sport whatsoever other than F1 snooker. F1 and snooker, sorry. And his observation was this. I couldn't believe I was watching a man stood next to 2 cash machines and was literally just putting in 20 quids, 20 quids, 20 quids, 20 quids, 20 quids. Just addicted. You know, I've seen a few documentaries about how mobile phones, specifically apps, are designed now to do what gambling machines do, to keep you on them. These people, I mean, me, it's like Rubber Ducky was saying on the casuals the other day about how he spends a significant amount of money on betting, but he's in control of it. You know, I know there are individuals, I'm not going to name them, that are part of the Elite FPL community who do win significant amount of money, but they do put on a lot of money. Money which I couldn't even dream about putting on. Me, 50p. I mean, it's a joke, but it's true. It's just 50p on fantasy football bets where I just back the player I don't own, or I back Jason's picks. It's 50p. And this season, I really will be writing down how much money I outlay and how much money I return. I really want to find out by the end of the season if I'm up, down, or broken even. Now, I'm pretty certain that each season I've done it, it's pretty much never a loss. It's broke even, slash thing. Now, by the way, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that anybody listening into this should be like, wow, let's do that every week, 50p bets. And then you end up getting more and more addicted. I'm not promoting gambling or anything, but for a bit of fun, for me, that can just about afford it, I'll happily put a £5 worth of bets on, or 10 quid or 12 quid. But again, it's based on the percentages of individuals who, well, they're really good at fantasy football, or they're doing really, really well. Let's just take Matty as a prime example. In fact, fuck that. Let's take Mark Byrne. Mark Byrne won the YouTube Chat League last year. So it comes to the deadline, the game updates, and I look at his team, and it's fucking hell. He hasn't captained Haaland. He's captained Son. What the hell does he know that I don't? So because he's winning the YouTube Chat League, Christ, do you know what? I'll put 50p on Son to score or assist at any time. Guess what? Because Mark Byrne's doing so well at the game, usually his captains come through, and guess what? Son scores and assists. Brilliant. I've made a 45p profit. Or, for instance, what's Mark Byrne's transfer there? He's done Rashford out for Gibbs White. All right, Nottingham Forest are at home to Bournemouth, but Rashford, okay, he's at home to Liverpool, but Liverpool are really leaky. Well, he knows what he's doing. Gibbs White, 50p, goal or assist. Oh, he got an assist. Brilliant. I've now earned myself an additional £1. That's what I do. It's just a bit of fun. And then, like I say, anything that I personally go against, i.e. regarding my transfers, if I say on a members video, for argument's sake, right, my plan, let's take this season as example, right? My plan is to have Jackson in game week 1 and then Núñez for game week 2, but I don't do it. So then for the game against Bournemouth, it's 50p on Núñez to score or assist any time. If it comes through, it comes through. If it doesn't, I'm happy because my decision making has come through because Jackson actually scored and Núñez did nothing. But to go back to what this individual's saying about these ginormous sites that are happy to promote gambling and everything, or get people invested into gambling sites and whatnot, it's because they've sold their soul. They have to. They don't have to do it, but they need to. It's the wrong. I don't know what terminology to use here, but these individuals just will do anything to get money. So I always use Mark Goldbridge as an example, but fuck that. Let's just use AFTV as a prime example. So as I stated last night, how many people were watching AFT last night live to watch individuals bored out of their mind, occasionally commenting, rather than just talking between, watching the game, talking between each other and just having a conversation? It's just, like I said, more out of mind, some tosser just doing that on his phone. It's pathetic. Yet there are idiots that are just throwing money at them. Here's a quid, here's a fiver, here's a tenner, here's 20, here's 50. For what? What reasoning are you doing that for? What's the psychology in your head where you know that they're not going to read it? There may be a chance that they may occasionally read the comment. But you get on the live chat and you see how many people are doing super chats, and not once is any of these people saying, oh, John Smith says Arsenal are rubbish. He's donated £20. Keith has said, I'm really liking the way Timber's playing. He's just donated a fiver. Oh, we got Dawn here. You know where this is going. Dawn, she's messaging to say, really liking the new studio, lads. £2 donation. Wow, look at this. Tim, he sent in 50 quid. Wow, thank you, Tim. And he just wants to say, love the show, guys. Really enjoying it. Don't even do that. Maybe occasionally. Maybe occasionally. What did David Brent say? David says, I could probably do what they're doing. In fact, I think they know I could do what they were doing. All these people throwing money at them. For nothing. 20, 30, 40,000 people watching the streams. And like I said, okay, someone last night, I think it may have been Kickus, I can't remember now, said about the fact that they watch Arsenal Fan TV live streams all the time, and when they're like that, it's because they're bored. But I'm not being funny or anything, but surely when you're bored, that's when you want to start being entertaining. Because, like I say, with live streaming, you've got natural reactions no matter what. So when me and Jason are doing a live stream and I just sat, ironically, I'll be sat here like this during the Liverpool game. Don't put it there! What do you think about that, Jason? Oh, he's missed. Jason, have a look at the TV. Look what's going on here. How's he missed this conversation? And then occasionally I may look at the chat and, nah, fuck off, Matty, you're speaking shit. How can you say that Jackson is performing poorly when he's not getting any service? What's that, ABJ? Yeah, you kind of agree with me, but are you watching the... Whatever it may be. Now, I appreciate the fact that we haven't got 20,000 people watching. I get it. But it's really difficult to talk about, to be honest with you, because I'm not in that position to understand what it's like to be in literally broadcasting to that. Well, forget 10,000 people, even 100 people. I don't even know what it's like. It's very hard for me to comprehend what it's like to broadcast in front of 100 people and to keep up with chat. With the average audience we get of 50 people, it's, yeah, pretty much. Not all of them are conversationalists. And we've got about roughly 15, maybe 20 people corresponding with us in the chat. It's pretty easy to keep up with. And I get it. And I understand the whole point in super chats, why people do it, because they want their message read out, because it's very difficult to keep up. Hence why the likes of Andy does it. But on Arsenal Fan TV, to be sending all this money in for literally nothing, it's just mad. I mean, like I say, this world's a big enough place where there are so many idiots that waste their money. I discussed it on the Total Stevo podcast when I was literally delivering to billionaires. I was literally delivering to people in Kensington who, when I spoke to the concierges about how much it would cost to rent, live, whatever, a place like this, and they say, don't even bother asking, because it's literally money that doesn't exist to these people. You can't comprehend it because the money is not a figure. When you're literally going to an underground bunker and you're given a map to find your way through an underground car park, to get to a lift, to deliver some Tesco mushrooms, leeks, noodles, to quite literally millionaires in an apartment. You just can't, I can't get my head around it. Yeah, for people like me or whatever, working class white guys, or white people, or whatever, just basically working class people, yeah, fine. Deliver. You have your Tesco delivery if you have the luxury of being able to afford the delivery charge. But for these billionaires who can literally just get in a helicopter and fly off to wherever, but instead they're just getting Tesco's delivered to them. You know, you just can't put it into comprehension. And it's the same with me when it comes to broadcasting to that amount of people live and not being able to interact. I get how they don't interact because there's so many super chats. You do it. You do it as an experiment one day. Go into these really large streamers and see how many people are contributing to them. It's absolutely insane. The amount of money that they're making, bearing in mind YouTube take anywhere between 30 and 35, 40%. And yet they're making more money in one stream than, let's just say, Elite FPL has in one, forget 1 year, in their whole time we've been in existence. It's like I said, it's the same with millionaires and billionaires. What, you can't afford £40,000 for your teeth? I'll just write a cheque. Same with footballers. People don't understand with sports, with athletes, that when they get injured, they're not sent to A&E in the local hospital, unless it's something really, really serious, but they're not sent to a local hospital and have to wait in A&E for 3 hours. No. And even if they are, what, you think they stay there? No, they get chauffeured to their nearest, well, whatever private hospital they're used, or their specific hospital that they use, and they got 24-hour care. Hence why they recover so quickly. Hence why, when these people have injuries like the everyday person like me or you would have, i.e. in my case, a ruptured knee, a hernia and everything, these people recover so well is because they've got people hand on foot providing them with all the medicine and correct diet that will help you recover quickly. Me, I'm living in a house share where I'm essentially on my own and I'm having to fend for myself. Lying in that fucking bed in absolute fucking agony because my stomach is in so much pain after having surgery on it. Or having to, with a busted knee, having to hobble down the stairs. I haven't got anybody at my hand to just come up through the door. You ready, Steve-O? Yeah, all right, here's your, and whatever food it is. No! These people do. It's why these people don't live in the real world. It's why it goes completely full circle, doesn't it? Why these content creators, these big content creators, they don't live in the real world. They don't have a fucking clue. As I spoke on the Total Stevo podcast about a very, very, one of the biggest podcasters, British podcasters out there. And I met them. He actually goes to the gym that I go to, would you believe? And I met him and I just thought, I've just completely lost any form of respect for you. In fact, I actually saw him on a TalkSport promotional video and I thought, so where's that guy? Where's that fucking guy in the gym? I reiterate this point. I'm not expecting this guy to be jumping around the place and doing whatever. No. But what I do expect is when me, a human being, approaches you, a human being, and just says, oh, hi, said name. Let's just call him Michael. Hiya, Michael. He then would look at me, I shake his hand, love your stuff. That's it, done. Instead, what do I get? It's, oh, hi, are you Michael? Looks away, head down. Yeah. Really shyly. Yeah. I then go, oh, I really enjoy your stuff. He then just again looks away and goes, thanks, mate. Doesn't look at me and just walks off. Now, someone could be going, yeah, but Steve, you complained about the fact that people approaching the gym. Slight difference. I'm a fucking nobody. I'm just your everyday person, and 99 times out of 100, like I had yesterday, when every single piece of leg equipment is available, I go on the hamstring curl machine, which I very rarely use. All I wanted to do was 3 sets of 25 reps. Do my first set, and remember, every single piece of leg equipment in that specific area was available. This guy approaches me and I just looked and I knew exactly what he was going to say. He wasn't going to say, hello, Steve-O. You fucking do Elite FPL. I fucking love your show. Nice to meet you, mate. I'll leave you to it. I know you like to train hard and everything. Nice to meet you, mate. And then walks off. No, it was this. So I turn. How many more sets have you got? 3. He then stands there and I just went, do you want to join in? Nah, you're all right, mate. And he just sits there on another machine doing nothing. That's my interactions that I get all the time. Yes, I spoke to death about certain interactions. I think the most bizarre one I had, it's not even bizarre, but this is my point about unusual interactions. What's this got to do with gambling, Steve-O? Nothing. But what I'm trying to get to the point of is that interactions with these large content creators and not being in the real world. Now, for instance, with this Michael, for example, I know for a fact that he receives a lot of abuse online. Okay? And I can imagine how horrible that is on your mental health. I get it. But to be completely blunt with you, for someone like me, unless someone says something that really does genuinely trigger me about an insecurity that I've got, then I just kind of don't really care what they say. In fact, I try and do an FPL juice, or I do a Steve-O, which is just write back a sarcastic comment, which is, thanks for supporting the show. Really do appreciate the feedback. Whatever. You know, this guy, I know for a fact, receives lots and lots of abuse. Okay? But, and again, I don't know what it's like for him in real life, but he does live he certainly used to live a very luxury lifestyle. So, and he probably got abuse out in public, I don't know, but whatever. But the majority of the time, most people will come up to him and go, Michael, hiya, you're right. Hi, fans. But for him to be like the way he was, like, I can understand if I just literally walked up and went, are you Michael? Oh, mate, yeah, I love the show. See you later. He has every right to be like, look down, doesn't want to know or anything. Or more specifically, it would be, do I know you? Yeah. Yeah, I thought I recognised you. Aren't you that guy that does that podcast? Yeah, I can get that. But when you're actually going up to them, approaching them and just being polite, just look in the person's face. Yeah, nice to meet you. Whereas with the interaction that I had, again, people that listen to Total Stephen will know this story, but when I used to work at the Tesco depot, I was just walking to work, funny enough, doing a voice message to Dan, and this is all I got. So a van was approaching on the opposite side of the road. They're approaching, and I'm just walking along, speaking to Dan, and all I get is this. Excuse me? You talking to me? Yeah. Bearing in mind he's in a van on a busy road. He stopped in the middle of the road. Yeah. Do you live around here? So my instant thought process is, as Ricky Gervais does in XFM, shum, right, he wants to know where I live, so he must want the directions. Yeah, kind of. How can I help you? I recognise you off YouTube. Do you do fantasy football? Oh, yeah, I do. Love the show, mate. And he just drove off. Now, if he had done this instead, which is driving along, is that Steve-O? Steve-O! Hello, mate. I look at them like, how the hell does he know my name? Hi. Yeah, I love Elite FPL. It's brilliant. Keep up the good work. See you later. It's a bit more personal. But for just some bloke, like I said this on the Total Steve podcast, you do this in everyday life. If you're walking down the street and someone just goes, "Oi!" Are you talking to me? Yeah, you. Didn't you used to go to my school? Oh yeah, and then you kind of put two and two together. Oh yeah, right, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, see you later. You're just gonna think. And yeah, whatever. But like I said, if that individual went, "Oi, Brent," if they just went, "Oi, David," so someone knows my name, turn around, you may not recognise them, and then they kind of give you a hint of who they are. Brilliant. But going back to these content creators, like I said, they just don't live in the real world because they're all about themselves. They don't give a shit. And it kind of goes on to what Matty said last night, which was about these FPL channels and all they're obsessed with is just subscribe. But again, it goes back to the whole YouTube thing, doesn't it? Obsessed with subscribers. I talk about the Dear Download podcast and how on one of the guys on Simon's YouTube video, it's like, please subscribe. Just obsessed with it. Don't worry about it. Genuinely, don't fucking worry about it. Like, okay then, let's just say for argument's sake, take this Simon as an example. All right, I'll subscribe. Okay? And then you continue. I thought I'd turn that all off. Then you continue subscribing, and he gets to, rather than having 1,000 subscribers, he gets to 10,000 subscribers. At that point, it's, I've got to change my way now. Shit, I've got 10,000 people watching my stuff, and a lot of them are saying, "Oh, we don't like this. I think you should stick to that. Oh, we don't like that. I think you should do that. I think you should upgrade your graphics. I think you should do this. I think you should do that." So the things that, and this is what usually happens with quite a lot of content creators. This is why a lot of content creators just stop what they're doing, because they're trying to appease everybody rather than just doing what they enjoy doing, which is what me and Jason do, which is, again, we go back to this individual's point of view, which is just never change. It's, if you, as I keep banging on about, if you enjoy the stuff that me and Jason do, please hit the subscribe button, be part of the community. If you don't like it, fine, whatever. But with this Simon as an example, it's, right, I've got 10,000 followers. Oh my God, I've now got companies coming to me, gambling companies coming to me. Well, shit, if I get at least 1% of that 10 of the people that are watching me, so I'm getting 5,000 views a video. If I get 1%, which is, I believe that's 50 people, 1% of my audience going to this gambling site and signing up, I get 50 quid at the end of it. 50 quid at the end of the month. Oh, I'm going to do that. And then every single video, it's, "Hi guys, we're here today to talk about Download Festival 2023. But before I start, I want to talk to you about the Bet King. The Bet King is a great gambling site where if you put down X amount of money and use my promo code, it means that you get 10 free bets. So he sold his soul to potentially earn 50 quid a month. But in turn, the detrimental effect that it may have on individuals that take him up on this offer and get sucked into this addictive behaviour of gambling. For again, what? 50 quid a month. And that's what people don't understand. I speak to my brother a lot about this. And he's slowly getting round to the idea of like, fucking hell, my brother Steve is right. These podcasts that I'm listening to that bombard me with adverts over and over, they don't need to do it. They're ruining. You're ruining a perfectly good. Marge Simpson. Homer. Oh God, does my voice really sound like that? The joke being in The Simpsons is that she goes, "You've ruined a perfectly good jacket. You've ruined a perfectly good podcast because every 5 minutes you're promoting some shite that no one cares about. I'm not listening to you anymore." But this is the one thing that these content creators find the hardest. And this is the hard thing. You either sell your soul but become really popular, but you've lost all your integrity. Like Greg says to Andy Millman and extras, do you want to be popular and famous for the sake of it, or do you want to have integrity and respect? And Andy goes, both. Well, I've got some bad news for you. There's only a certain amount of actors that have that, and you're not one of them. So Andy Millman, because he doesn't know what he wants to do, he sells his soul and goes into the Big Brother house, and it goes on and on. I'll be discussing that on the Total Steve-O podcast. But in all seriousness, you then sell your soul, you've lost all your integrity, and you've gone from an individual, a girl or a boy, who enjoys doing what they're doing in front of a camera to, like, take us as an example. We talk about anything. I can guarantee there'll be people that have hated this video, and good riddance to you. Genuinely, good riddance to you. Because this is for the Elite FPL community, predominantly anyway. But anyway, you've sold your soul, and again, you've become an individual where, like me and Jason talk about anything, it gets to the point where your advertisers and sponsors are basically saying, yeah, we don't want you talking about gambling addictions. I don't want you talking about your everyday life when you went to Whipsnade Zoo. I don't want you to talk about when you went to Canary Wharf. I don't want you talking about delivering to millionaires or anything. Well, what do you want me to talk about? Just stats and fantasy football. Well, yeah, I can do that, but I get a bit bored of talking about it, and I like to just express myself in other means with, no, you're not allowed to do that. But there are people that really enjoy it. Not interested. You do as we say, or we pull the plug on your sponsorship where we give you £50 a month. And then me as the individual, because I've sold my soul, goes, oh shit, I want that 50 quid. Yeah, I'll stop doing it. So this video, rather than being an hour long, is cut down to 10 minutes of me just talking about why Haaland is the best captaincy. See you later. Elite FPL then becomes a channel which, yeah, brilliant. We've got 20,000 subscribers. We get 1,000 people watching us live. And all it is just, well, Salah's got the best XG for this, but Diaz, on the other hand, he has been a lot more attacking. If you look at the graph here and everything, nah. Anyway, as ever, thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it. And the individual that sent in this message, I really do appreciate the fact that you enjoy conversation pieces like this, and I hope that people have got something out of this. I don't know what you would have got out of it, but I'd like to think it's a bit of entertainment, a bit of light-hearted humour, as I like to say. Hope people just laughed and smiled. That's all I care about. Did you smile? Did you enjoy this? Yes. If not, fair enough. But I've messaged Jason about potentially doing a stream together tomorrow, because we got 1 week. That'll be the 1 week before deadline next week, which is just absolutely nuts. What I will say is that if you do enjoy these styles of personalised videos where I've admittedly this individual wanted to remain anonymous, but for anybody that does like personalised videos, this is what happens during the members' videos. Someone will message me about whatever they want me to discuss, and I'll just discuss it, and it's a members' video. And here's the irony: these videos, as members' videos, are more popular than when I do anything to do with fantasy football. What does that say? See you later. If I can just find the record button, let's do the see you later again. Do it again. Kick in, rock. See you later.